Hey, hi everyone. My name is Vicky Cheda. Some of you must be already knowing me. I must have taught some of the subjects to you guys. Just in case you're not knowing much about me, I'll quickly introduce myself. I did my graduation from University of Mumbai. I appeared for GATE in the year 2008, and I did my masters from IIT Guwahati in the field of digital signal processing. I've been teaching GATE since last more than 10 years now. I teach EC, and IN students. Now that GATE results are out for 2020, we thought of doing this session where we interact with students. We try to answer their queries and questions. We'll try to answer most of your questions right now, but in case we cannot answer anything, if any query requires some specific data or info which we do not have immediately, we will note down your question and we'll get back to you. So with that, I think let us start. What I would want you guys to do is because I can't hear your voice, I would request you to type your questions in the live chat section, and based on the question that you submit, we will try to address your concerns. So I can see there is a question from Siddesh. His rank is 2134, and the question he has is, which college will I get admission in with this particular rank? Generally, to get into top IITs, your rank should be somewhere inside 1000. And if you want a branch of your choice, if you want one of those famous specializations, then your rank should be even better than that. I generally feel that it should be inside 500 or 600. Now, rank of 2100 is not that bad. Top IITs would be slightly difficult. I will request you to apply for 3-year RA courses. You might get a call because RA courses, they take admissions through interview round. So there's a test that they conduct and there's an interview. So if you get a call, then you will get a chance to perform better in their entrance test, and then through interview you can you can have good chance to get into the RA course. RA course is available in IIT Bombay and couple of more IITs. You'll have to you can find that out. The information is available on their websites. There is also MS course in some of the IITs, for example IIT Madras. This is also one course where I feel you should try. I will suggest top 5 to top 8 NITs is what you can try for. You have really good chance to get into one of the good NITs. You can also try for BITS. There are various campuses. BITS Pilani is the most famous one. Apart from that, you should also try into triple IT campuses. Triple IT Hyderabad is the most famous one, but there are a couple of more centers. One in Allahabad, one in Bangalore. So yeah, these are some good colleges where you should definitely try. So just to quickly summarize, maybe you should go for RA MS courses in IITs. You should try for top NITs, BITS, triple IT campuses, and even to old IITs. I will suggest you can definitely apply, and you can you can definitely expect best outcome. But as I said, there are this good NITs and BITS, triple IT campuses where the placement in some good courses, like if you're from EC branch, specializations like VLSI or communication, these are some famous specializations where they have got good placements. So that is what I will suggest for you, Siddesh. Now, just in case you are still in the 4th year of engineering, then I will also suggest you give one more attempt, because most of the time students get much better score in the next attempt. So if this was your first attempt and you have got a rank of 2100, my sincere my personal opinion would be that you should not hurry up. You should go for one more attempt, and I'm sure you will do better next time. But if this was your second attempt, you had already taken a drop or something, then yeah, then I strongly feel that you should go ahead and take up the admission. Uh, talking about talking about some famous specializations in EC branch, VLSI or microelectronics is the most famous one. Then we have communication, we have digital signal processing, we have embedded systems, we have electronic systems in some colleges. Then there are branches which are for EC students, but also more famous for IN and EE students, control systems, power electronics, etc. I hope that answers your question. You can. Okay, I can see Siddesh replying back saying it's his first attempt. So then I will strongly suggest that you should go for one more attempt. Now, whether you should take up a job and continue along with the job, or you should take a drop, so that is something I leave it up to you, because different students take different decision based on that. You can talk to some students also regarding it. But if I share my experience quickly, I attempted GATE twice, and I got into IIT through my second attempt. And I was working with TCS, and so I prepared along with the job. But there are a lot of students who take a drop and prepare. So it will be your personal decision, is what I would suggest. But because it was your first attempt and you got a rank of 2,100, which I feel is a really good rank for the first attempt, you have a great chance to improve further in the next attempt. All right. Moving ahead, I can see a question from Rohan. I've got 5,388 rank in EE. Which college can I get admission into? At 5,300, I feel I don't think you stand any chances for IITs. And also the colleges which I mentioned to the previous while answering the previous question, like top NITs or other colleges, I feel it will be a bit difficult at this particular rank. I would also want to know the similar thing about you, Rohan. Is it your first attempt or is it the second attempt? If it's the first attempt, then I will again suggest the same thing. You should try one more time, because at 5,300, I feel that you may not get into any good famous college where there is good placement scenario also. Because ultimately, when you take the admission, it's not just about doing 2 years M.Tech course. You should also look in terms of good placement scenario. So if that college is not able to offer good placement scenario, then sometimes it turns out to be not a great decision to do M.Tech from such colleges. So at this rank, even if you want to go ahead and try something, then I feel you can try for NITs. You should apply to NITs, and top NITs will be difficult, but you can opt for. You have, I think you have chances in some top 15 NITs, I would say, outside top 5. I hope that answers your question, Rohan. But I just repeat again, if this was the first attempt, then it makes sense for you to give one more attempt along with a job, or you can take a drop. That's a decision that you can take. But if you want to take a safe approach, better to take up a job and prepare along with it. Then there's a question that says, any opportunity in private sector for just qualified student in open category? To answer this question, I will say almost no, because private sectors are very, very famous amongst top ranked students. There are a lot of top ranked students, they opt for private sectors and they don't plan to do their masters uh, through IITs or other colleges. That's because generally these private sectors, they offer very good packages even to undergrad students. So if you look at the trend in past few years, the top ranked students, they generally offer private sectors, and then the second choice is IITs, and then new IITs and other campuses like NIT, triple IT, etc. So to answer your question, I strongly feel that there may not be any good opportunity for just qualified students in private sectors. Rutvik, okay. Siddesh is asking again something. Can you tell something about integrated course in IITs? I'll need a little more clarification, Siddesh. Do you mean integrated as M.Tech plus PhD? Do you mean that course? Are you talking about M.Tech plus PhD course? If you can just confirm, then I'll be able to provide some details. Rutvik is asking a question saying the gate score is valid for 3 years, right? Can I defer my admission by 1 year? Yes, that's perfectly possible, Rutvik. You can do it. You can defer your admission by 1 year. You can apply next year based on this year's gate score. All right. And gate score, yes, is valid for 3 years. But I'm not sure why would you want to defer your admission by a year. The only reason could be you are giving one more attempt, and you are expecting to score better. You should not wait. You should definitely go ahead and take up the admission based on whatever is available. Can I apply for admission but not secure this year and then do the same next year and secure it? You can't secure your admission this year and then join the course next year. That is something which is not possible. You will have to go for fresh application process next year. If you are not going to take up the course this or admission this year, then there is no point in applying also. So to answer your question, you can't ask institute to secure admission for 1 year and tell them that you will join next year. That is not possible. You have to go through the entire admission process once again as a fresh applicant next year. But as I said, I don't see any good reason why you want to do it. Can you tell me your rank this year, rank, Rutvik? Yours, how much is your rank? Okay, so meanwhile, I get some more info on that. Going back to Siddesh's question, Siddesh wants little information on M.Tech plus PhD integrated courses, where you can get into M.Tech course initially, and based on your first year performance, they allow you to they allow you to offer PhD. So if you've got good score in your first year coursework of M.Tech, then you can convert your course into integrated course M.Tech plus PhD. So that way, from the second year onwards, you can start working on your PhD research project. You will get both the degrees, M.Tech as well as PhD. Um, but I'll have to find out if there is any option where student can opt for integrated course right from the beginning. I'll just find it out in some time and get back. Um, but one thing I can tell you is that not many students opt for integrated course right from the beginning, because generally we want to generally students who aim for M.Tech, they are more placement oriented, and they plan their career in industry. So then, if that's the case, I think you should only focus on M.Tech. And even if at all you are motivated for PhD and you want to continue PhD after your M.Tech, or if there is any such plan, then I will suggest a better approach to this whole thing. Do your M.Tech from IIT or one of the top institutes in India. And then for PhD, you should also try for options abroad, because if you're already doing your M.Tech from IIT or top NIT course from one of the US universities, so if at all you are thinking about PhD, then you might as well think in that particular direction. So if you just focus on plain M.Tech for now, then after that, for PhD, you should also think about options in the US. Um, Coming back to Ritwik's question, your rank is 276. What are my chances with chances for PSU? I think you have good chance for PSU job at rank of 276. I won't say that you will be taken in each and every PSU, because it depends upon how many vacancies they have, and if top 100 students, if they are very strongly planning for PSU, then you might face you may not be able to get into some top PSUs, but looking at overall picture, you have really good chances. I hope you have already applied to PSUs when their applications had opened. Some PSUs must have closed their applications by now, and the PSUs which are still open, which are still accepting application, then you should apply their ASAP. But you have good chances with PSU, and you have a really good chance to get into one of the IITs also with this rank. I assume you are from. I don't know your branch, but I assume you are from EC branch, because you're talking about VLSI. So if you're from EC branch, and let's say you're from open category, but even then, I feel you have a good chance to get into the IITs. Decide what you want to, whether you're more inclined towards PSU job or more inclined towards doing M.Tech course, because I have a feeling that you will get good options from both these sides. So you should make up your mind, and you should have your decision ready with you. Also, could I get M.Tech VLSI with rank 276, preferably in Bombay or Delhi? I think Bombay will be difficult, because as you must be knowing, Bombay is the very first choice for all the students across India in EC branch. IIT Bombay VLSI is the very first choice for all the students. So at this rank of 276, could be slightly difficult. Slightly more chances for Delhi, but again, even I feel looking at the past scenario, I remember a student whose rank was 110, and he was in waiting list when the first list came out for Delhi VLSI course. He got into Delhi VLSI course, I think, only in the second or third list, but even at the rank of 110. So at your rank of 276, I feel Bombay is definitely looks difficult. Delhi looks, um, slightly more chances compared to Bombay, but I still feel could be difficult. But you can definitely get into other IITs for VLSI course. IIT Guwahati also has a very good VLSI course. Very good placement. I remember a lot of my batchmates, they got into companies like Nvidia, LSI Logic, um, Samsung, etc. So I will suggest that apply to all the IITs for VLSI course. But if you have interest in VLSI, and if you're not able to get into Bombay or Delhi, you should also you should not have any misconception about other IITs like IIT Roorkee or IIT Guwahati. I feel they are equally good, and especially when it comes to VLSI, the placements in all the IITs are really great. No doubt, Delhi, Bombay, will definitely offer you more opportunities and maybe slightly better packages in terms of placements, but the other IITs are also equally good. For example, IIT Guwahati and IIT Roorkee. So make sure that you do not lose out an opportunity in case you get an admission in this slightly lower ranked IITs. But at this rank, I'm sure you will get into IIT VLSI. The only question remains which IIT it would be. But if you take my advice, it doesn't matter. All top 8 old IITs are equally good for VLSI course. And then if this is the scenario, I don't think why you want to wait for a year, and I don't see any good reason for that. So I hope that answers your question. We have a question from Vidyesh. Can you tell us about M.Tech specializations that have a lot of openings in the industry? So yeah, the very first and the most famous specialization is microelectronics or VLSI. Apart from having good number of jobs, they also offer very high packages. On an average, the average package for VLSI microelectronics jobs after M.Tech course is 10 to 12 lakhs. Companies like Qualcomm, Nvidia, they pay, they give packages in the range of 15 to 16 lakhs. So in terms of packages and number of openings, VLSI or microelectronics stays at the top. Second option will be anything from communication side. There is a branch in IIT Kharagpur on RF communication that is famous. In IIT Guwahati, in IIT Bombay, there are specializations in communication systems, which are also equally famous. Many a times, even if you get into communication field, you can opt for some courses during our masters which are linked to VLSI, and you may not get into VLSI specialization, but through communication you can opt for courses and then your final year project in VLSI domain, and that way also you can make yourself eligible for VLSI companies. So a lot of students who miss out VLSI specialization, they also try it through this particular approach. After communication, there is another equally interesting field, which is of signal processing or digital signal processing, as they call it in IIT Guwahati. It's there in other IITs also, most of the IITs. The same thing goes with the signal processing field also. You can offer some courses and then project which are more industry oriented or which are into industry oriented applications. If you do it, then again there are good opportunities in signal processing field also. Apart from that, there is this branch of electronic systems in IIT Bombay, control systems. They come after VLSI, communication signal processing, in terms of their how much famous they are, and in terms of how many students plan for it. But they are also equally good. If you have interest in, they become very specific specialization. For example, control system, you must be interested in that particular field. So yeah, that I hope that answers your question. I think we have covered most of the questions. Siddesh is asking again, saying for rank 2134, which course can I get in IIT Bombay? That will be a difficult question. I feel 2 years TA course will be difficult in the top 5 branches of IIT Bombay. Top 5 branches would be microelectronics, communication, electronic system, control system, signal processing. I feel those famous specializations which IIT Bombay has for EC students, core EC students, would be difficult for you at 2134. You may, as I said, you can try for RA course, because RA admissions take place through test and interviews. Sometimes it happens that students they did not score good rank in GATE, but they've got really good knowledge about their field of interest. In that case, they managed to impress the interview panel, and I've seen a lot of students whose ranks are in the range of 1,000 or 1,500. Even in that range, students have got into RA course of IIT Bombay. So, uh, but you are slightly outside 2,000. So again, it becomes very difficult to answer this question with a lot of certainty. But all I can say is you should apply to RA courses, also MS courses, the courses which are open to slightly low rank students in the range in which you have a rank. Okay, so I think the questions that I can see on the screen, we have covered almost all of them. If you still have more questions, or if you have any follow-up questions, then please keep asking questions on that live chat window. Apart from that, I will request all the students to go through all the IT websites, understand what are the courses they are offering. Sometimes they also introduce the new courses. For example, I remember some of the IITs had introduced data science as a course last time. So go through their websites, go through the list of courses that they have, find out from your gate paper which are the courses that you can apply to, and make sure you do not miss out, because sometimes it happens that students were not just aware about the courses, and later on they found out and they felt that I could have applied to this courses. So there are 2 years TA courses in these IITs, there are RA courses, then there are these MS courses, and then there are interdisciplinary courses also. Interdisciplinary courses are offered by two departments together. These are slightly less famous courses, so low rank students, they have good chances to get into these courses. But again, for interdisciplinary courses, I will suggest they are not very famous, and they may not have a great placement scenario. So before you take up decision to get into one of these courses, please talk to some seniors who are doing this course, or find out on social media, find out how is the review of placement in some of these courses. Siddesh is asking, is CGPA is considered along with GATE score? I hope this is in connection with RA courses. CGPA is not considered for the very first call. The call will be placed based on your GATE score, but no doubt later on. And again, CGPA will never be part of selection criteria, but no doubt if you have good CGPA, you will be able to have that first impression on the interview panel if you clear the test and if you appear for the interview. Good CGPA will definitely give out that very first impression, but then no doubt, even if you are 9-pointer and if you can't answer the basic fundamental questions which they are going to ask, then that will be again of no use. So in a way, I feel it will be, more of your performance during the test and interview that will matter the most. Your final year project will also at times, they ask good questions on that also. They ask questions on very basics and fundamentals, which they feel, GATE exam in a way cannot justify, because you can, some students can get a good GATE rank if they manage to solve most of the questions the simple ones, the formula-based questions. So that scenario, they try to ask the fundamentals, and they try to test the basics of the subject. So if you are applying for specific course in RA, then you should prepare some 2 to 3 engineering courses really very well. For example, if you are planning for VLSI RA course, then all the courses related to VLSI, electronic devices, digital circuits, these are 2 3 courses which you must prepare very strongly. If you are planning for communication, then you must do analog digital communication of your engineering course. You should do random signal random signal analysis, which has got 2 parts: random variables and random processes. This must be strong. If you're applying for signal processing, then analog and digital signal processing that you must have studied, along with transform theory. All these topics must be really very strong for our RA interviews. Okay, we have another question from Ashish. Which is better, complete M.Tech and then take a job, or Texas Instruments sponsored M.Tech in IIT? Is it bad idea to limit your options before completing M.Tech? Can you just tell me a little bit more about Texas Instruments sponsored M.Tech in IIT? How does it limit your options? I don't think. I think it is just sponsored M.Tech in IIT. Is there any criteria or condition that you have to join Texas Instruments after completing your M.Tech? Is there any such condition for that? If you can answer that, Ashish, I'll be able to provide more details on your question. So while you answer my question, I'll give you one example of one of Vidyalankar past students. I mentioned that also sometime before. His rank was 110, and he got into IIT Delhi sponsored VLSI course. This course was sponsored by Cypress Semiconductor, and later on, he also joined Cypress Semiconductor because he got a chance to do his internship project through, I think, sponsored. Okay, so Ashish is saying he's not sure. What I know about this sponsored courses is that there is no such criteria that you have to go and join them. But yeah, you have to do the project from that particular company, your M.Tech project, which I feel will be a great opportunity because like Cypress Semiconductors, Texas Instruments, also a famous VLSI company. If you're getting into a course that is Texas Instruments sponsored, I don't feel at all that you are limiting your options. In fact, you are securing one of the best options that you can have. Getting into Texas Instruments will be the dream of most of the VLSI students. So if you get into that course, if you have offer for the admission, then you should just go for it. Unless you have a better IIT VLSI, like IIT Bombay VLSI course, then yes, you should definitely offer something which keeps all the options open for you. But let's say you have IIT Delhi sponsored VLSI course, and instead of taking that, you are opting for IIT Guwahati VLSI course. If that's the scenario, then I will definitely suggest you should go for IIT Delhi sponsored course. Yeah, so I don't feel it's a bad idea to limit your options as long as it's an option like Texas Instrument. Then it's definitely not a bad idea. Does it? Okay, Siddesh is asking, does it affect job prospects through RA course? I don't think it does, because you see, no one will answer this question with a lot of clarity, because IIT Bombay claims that, and which is true also. It's just that RA courses of 3 years, TA courses of 2 years. So you will be appearing for placements next year along with other batch of students. But you are open to the same campus placement. So it is not that TA students are allowed for all the companies and RA students are only allowed for specific companies. That's not the case. Which companies you can appear for in terms of interviews depends on your course. Some companies only will allow VLSI students, some will allow all the students. So your branch matters more than your whether it's TA course or RA course. Now coming to uh, the untold scenario. Now see, no doubt when companies are taking interviews, if they see a TA student and if they see an RA student, they know that TA student got into 2 years course because he must have had a better rank than RA student. So that the very first comparison is something that it's very natural and companies they do it. But then you're inside the interview room, it's your knowledge that is going to talk. And if whether you're from RA course or even if you're TA course with less score, but you have got a strong project with you, and you have done a great work in your project, or you have published good number of papers. I won't say good number, even if you publish one paper, but if you publish it in a really good conference or journal, I think that speaks a lot about your knowledge. So if you ask me, I feel no, it does not affect your job prospect, because all you have to make sure that you score good, and more than that, your knowledge is very strong from your field. So your M.Tech project matters a lot. All right, so I think we have covered all the questions. All right, so I'm here for more 5 to 10 minutes. So we'll wait for 5 minutes more. If there are any questions, then please keep sending them through live chat. If there are no more questions, then we will wind up in next 5 to 10 minutes. Uh, in case you have any questions, or you need any further guidance in terms of so let's say you start applying, and then if you're confused between two courses, or let's say you got admission into two courses and you're not sure which one you want to select, or you still have confusion in terms of whether you should go for second attempt or not, then you can definitely reach out to Vidyalankar, and through them you can reach out to me. They will connect you with me, and I can help you out even after this session, whenever you need any help or any guidance. Can you brief about admission process? The best part is that everything is available on the internet. NITs, they have centralized portal, and IITs have also started that. At least in terms of applying to various IITs. So through this admission portals, you should go through them. You should go through each and every whether it's brochure or every web page on this portal. It will have some important information. Most of the IITs, they take direct admissions, but there are some courses where, for example, RA course, where they do conduct the offline. They do conduct a process where there is test and interview involved. So in case of direct admissions, your admission completely takes place based on your gate rank. So that there you can't do much if your rank is not that great. But in courses like RA course, where admission is through interview process, you get a chance, you get like one more chance to improve your performance through test and interview. And also something that I mentioned earlier, go through each and every IIT website also to understand what are the M.Tech courses which they are offering. And not just IITs, NIT websites and other private institutes, other institutes like Triple IT, BITS. Go through their websites and find out what are the courses which they offer, and make sure that every course which is of your interest, you do apply to that particular course. All right, so I think there are no more questions, so we will wind up the session now. But as I said, you can always reach out to Vidyalankar if you have any further queries, questions, if you need any further guidance. They will connect you with the right person, and we will be able to help you out. You can also reach out to us on WhatsApp number. If you want, you can. Type. We'll type WhatsApp number in the chat. You can send us message on this. You can write your query or question on this WhatsApp number. We just put it in the live chat. All right, so please let us know if you have any questions during the admission process. We would love to help you out with that. So with that, I think that's all. We will conclude this session for now. Thank you, everyone, and all the best for your admission process.